Good evening, Blue Nation. Welcome back to another episode of the Andy's Man Club Mersey Blue podcast. So it's the Chelsea game we're going to cover tonight. With me is our American correspondent, Marco. How are you, pal? And where are you?
Yeah, doing great, Blue World. I'm in Honolulu, Hawaii. I was able to actually be in port this time to watch the match from my phone while we tied up the ship. You guys know I normally try to find a local supporters group in the pub that they use to watch the matches, but it was 5 o'clock in the morning here, and believe it or not, I could not find an Evertonian group here in Honolulu. So I watched the match by myself, and it was probably a good thing considering the result.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue that. Talking about supporters group, I just want to give a couple of quick shout outs before we get into it, Mark. I want to shout out Chris Darricott of In the Blue Corner over on YouTube, a friend of the channel, and also all the brand new members of the Mersey Blue podcast Facebook group. We've had a huge influx over the weekend, so for that, we are truly grateful. Thanks, guys. Okay, so let's get on to it, Mark. I think the sooner we get going, the sooner we finish, eh? I think we all feel the same way. So 4-2-3-1, Pickford between the sticks, Jake O'Brien right back, Tarkowski and Keane in the middle, Mikolenko left back, Jimmy Garner Guy in the middle, Ilian and Jai, KDH, Jackie Grealish across the front, all backing up Beto. So we started a match at Stamford Bridge where we haven't won in 30 years. I think it's now 31. The worst part of the day, beyond the result, was a quarter of an hour in and we lose Keenan Dewsbury Hall to what appears to be a hamstring injury. He is replaced by Charlie Alcaraz. 22 minutes, Chelsea open the scoring. It's a through ball from Gusto to Cole Palmer. He beats Pickford with a shot to the near post. Could Geordie have done better? Yeah. Could we defended better? Absolutely. A minute later, it nearly goes from bad to worse. Charlie Alcaraz plays a horrible back pass. Garnacho runs onto it, and only a great block from Tarkowski saves a second goal. Coming up to half time, Jimmy Garner delivers an absolutely beautiful free kick to the far post. There's James Tarkowski, who heads well wide. A couple of minutes later, Garner passes across the Chelsea area. A little bit too much weight on the pass, to be honest. Thierry Barry is sliding in at the far post and is inches away from scoring. And sure enough, as per, we go forward and have a couple of chances. We get caught. Pedro Neto, he runs into the area, cuts the ball back. There's Gusto. He smashed it past Pickford. 2-0 Chelsea, and that was pretty much the half. Mark, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, so despite our uptick in success in comparison to the last couple of years, um, I know we were due to go into Stamford Bridge and win. I mean, it's been 30 plus years, so eventually it's got to happen, right? I think the longer it goes on, the higher the probability that we're going to get a win. But at the same time, I got to say, we can't be surprised. Chelsea, at the moment, is a more wealthy club, bigger club in terms of what they've invested in. You know that the league has not held them to the same standards that they've held us in terms of spending and how they allot and find that money to spend. So it's a home match for them. It's going to be a sellout crowd because it's two big old clubs. Um, and they've got talent, they've got speed. So I think ultimately it's no surprise. I just wish that we had had a better showing. To be critical, you know, I think Tarky on that header, I don't think he was going for goal. I think he was trying to get it back across the front. He couldn't get enough head on it. And there were players. Um, I know Barry scored a goal last week, and it's great for him. I'm absolutely made up for him. But you can't be getting nutmegged on passes from your own team. That ball went between his legs. I mean, that's so Beto-esque, right? Like when you see someone kick a ball and it goes off their other heel and wide, it's Beto or Barry. And We cannot have that from our striker position. He should have at least got a thigh or a shin or a hip or, a buttock on that ball. He got nothing. It went through him. That's unacceptable. Um, Losing Keenan Dewsbury Hall just makes a bigger revelation that we are no better than our lack of depth on the bench. We've got great starters. The match is so Everton like. We controlled the pace, we controlled the ball, we had a longer possession. When you look at the first 30 minutes, we had a higher percentage of possession. Heat maps for all the players were really good. The percentage of completed passes were good. We controlled. But we didn't execute when it came down to those minute moments in which you have to execute both offensively and defensively. And they did. It didn't take them a lot of pressure. It only took them a few precision strikes. And on those precision strikes, it exposed something that, I really don't like to say because I love Vitaly Mikolenko. I'm in his camp because he's Ukrainian and from everything that they're going through. And, the guy loves playing for the badge. He loves playing for the blue shirt. I love that. But he's a Burnley level player. He's good enough to be in the Premiership. He's good enough to beat the lower half clubs. But he tried to outpace somebody that's far faster than him and far more technical instead of keeping those players in front of him and trying to deflect their shots or passes. He tried to turn it into a foot race, and he got burned. And I don't think that's a matter of skill. I think that's a matter of decision making. And the same goes for Ganagay on the second goal. He got caught sleeping. I can't remember if it was Fofana or if it was Malagusto that just ran right past him and received that flick over from, I think it was Garnacho. I could be mistaken. But he ran right past Ghana unmarked and put it in the short side past Jordy, who didn't have a great game. But you know what? I'm not going to shit on Jordan because he has a great game every game. We kind of rely on it. I think it gives a false sense of how good or how bad we really are because he is so reliable. But 2 goals conceded on the short side, or from the short side, I should say. And it should have been, honestly, it should have been 3-0. It should have been 3-0 because that shit pass that Alcaraz played back to Jordan got picked up by Garnacho. It's a miracle that stayed out. You go later on in the game and Dye put one off the post. That could have gone in for us with a little more spin. I don't know how much of a difference it would have made at that point. Moisey's got to get these guys fit. Dan Friedkin needs to bring in more talent. We got to stop looking in the bargain basement to bolster up this roster. We need good players. We cannot be a selling club anymore. We're just not going to progress. We're going to stay in this zone of constant worry and, celebrating every time we get a win against your Brightons and your Sunderlands. And I don't want that anymore. We've spent the money to put us past the point of no return. We got the new barn. We've got some solid players. We made some big expensive signings in Dibbling and KDH. We can't be nickel and diming at this point. We have to go for it or do a complete reset. And that's not going to happen, not this recently. So they got to open up the checkbook. We got to fill these holes. And they got to bring in better physios or something because we just keep losing too many key pieces to injury. I don't know what the prognosis is or the timeline for KDH, but he's been a huge piece the last 4 or 5 weeks. We need him back. We're about to lose 2 players at least to the AFRICON competition for if Senegal and Guinea-Bissau go to the end of the tournament, the championship game is January 19th, I believe. So we're going to be out three great players, three solid players of our squad for 6 weeks. So you combine that with the injuries, things are not looking great because we have Arsenal on the schedule. We've got a Forest team that can beat us on the schedule. Burnley's a trap game because we've got to win that game, but Burnley's always good enough to beat us. They hate us. They're going after us on the pitch and in the courtroom. You know that. So I've got concerns. Changes need to be made. We got a January window coming up, and we need to not Everton this. We need to actually get some shit done so that we can breathe a little easier. I don't think relegation is a worry at this point, obviously. It's a little bit different than the last few years, but the beginning of the season has built up all of our hopes and aspirations, and now it's kind of just fallen flat, and it's sort of ebbing and flowing week to week, and I don't want that anymore. I think we should be taking at least a point a week, if not more. I think we're good enough to beat any team in this league. And then to just add salt to the wound, the Shite won yesterday, so now they're back on top of us in the table again, and I think we're sitting down in 7th or 8th place. So we need the upcoming points against Burnley, to say the least, and we need to try to steal at least 1 point from, I think it's Forest, and I think it's Arsenal as well.
Yeah, all good points, mate. It's just been a really shit day at the office and a really shit weekend, hasn't it? It's never easy when Everton lose. Okay, let's go over to our sponsors, the amazing Andy's Man Club. Life is hard, and we all have bad days. There are times when we feel we can't cope. This is the time we need to reach out and talk to someone. Andy's Man Club offers local support groups nationwide, running every Monday from 7 p.m, except on bank holidays. In these groups, men can open up about the issues affecting their lives in a safe, non-judgmental environment. Our clubs are designed to be free of pressure. There is no obligation for men to speak, they can simply listen if they wish. Find us today at www.andysmanclub.co.uk. Help one guy, save one life. Andy's Man Club, it's good to talk. Welcome back, Blues. That was our amazing sponsors, Andy's Man Club. Remember, boys, don't stay quiet. It's good to talk. So, second half, starts about 10 minutes in. Garnacho blazes over after running onto a long ball from the keeper. The keeper just boots it out, comes down. I don't know what the Everton defence were doing. Garnacho just latches on, runs in, and thankfully for us, he just blows it over and into Rosette. 68 minutes, Beto comes on for Barry. A couple of minutes later, 72 minutes, Alcaraz whips in a fantastic cross to the far post. There's Jackie G, and he just can't connect. He kind of slides in, and it bounces off his boot, and it basically just goes wide of like an open goal. And at that sort of stage, you're just thinking, it's just not our day, 84 minutes, Tyler Diblin comes on for Grealish. Tim Irabunam comes on for Jimmy Garner. And probably the last action of the half for the Blues of the game. Alcaraz thread a lovely pass to Njai. He gets into the area, he shoots, and believe it or not, he hits the inside of the post and the ball comes back out. Basically sums up our day, really. Like Mark said, they took their chances. We really didn't take the couple of chances we had. Shit day. Full time. Chelsea 2. Everton 0. Gives you quick final thoughts, Mark.
Yeah, so again, I'm American and from an area that does not produce soccer or football players, but I do have played sports my whole life. I don't understand why we've made an investment in somebody like Dibbling and then we bring him on at minute 83 when the game is already pretty much in the bag. And I understand he needs time to adjust, but you also need minutes in the game to adjust. I don't see how are you going to get acclimated to the pace in 7 minutes, and what are you developing? Because at that stage, Chelsea's going to lock down. I don't see where Dibsy's going to get a whole lot of action. I would have liked to see him come on at maybe the 70-minute mark, so at least he could, get his feet wet and maybe try to contribute something. I never felt that we were fully out of the match. That's just the Everton thing about it. Is we had the woodwork. We had the one that got tipped over the bar. We had the nutmeg from from Barry. The pass over to Barry that went through his wickets. We had the one that went off of Grealish's foot wide. We were so close so many times. Oh, we lost KDH. If there was a different outcome on each of these little micro moments in the game, it really could have been a different story. It's like we're almost there, but we're not there. We're just not performing at that top 5, top 4 level yet. And so it's incredibly frustrating. I want to point out one thing to all of our listeners. We are hyper aware of the bullshit that is going on around the World Cup this year. I just want to tell you, I'm sorry. We're sorry. It shouldn't cost anybody $5,000 to attend World Cup matches in nosebleed seats. This is late stage capitalism. And in case anybody didn't know, FIFA repurchased tickets that they put out on the platform and resold them on the reselling platforms. So they're squeezing out the common man. They're squeezing out the regular fan, and we're the people that create and support this stuff. So I'm sorry. I apologize for what's going on in my country. That's about it. That's all I have to contribute this week, Nick.
Very interesting thoughts, Mark. Thank you, as always. I'll just echo the KDH thing. We really, really wish him Godspeed recovery. We really need him back. I think Ghana and Njai going to the AFCON is going to screw us. There are teams in the league that are in a worse position, i.e. Sunderland. I think they lose like about 6 or 7 of their players.
Yeah.
Fair dues, them's the rules. I think, if anything, with Njai being gone, it might give young Tyler Diblin a few games to play.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that.
Yeah, a little bit of a run in the team there. So that can only be a positive. Yeah, do you know what? We move on, don't we? Arsenal are next at the Dixie on Saturday. I don't want to be negative, but it's going to be a really, really hard game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So all that's to be said is thank you very much again for jumping on with us, Mark. We really do appreciate your time, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Copites or gobshites, up the fucking toffees, Everton till I die. And I'll check in with you guys next week from Tacoma or Oakland. I believe I'll be watching the match from Tacoma. Ship will be underway, but I'll do the best to watch from my phone. And then I'm going to be home for the holidays for a month. So I'll be able to catch all the matches and I'll be able to jump on the pod a whole lot easier. So goodbye from Hawaii, and you guys have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, Marco. I'll leave it there. Up the fucking toffees.
Up the fucking toffees. Thank you, brother.